Hello and welcome to Around the Clock. I'm your host, Yolanda Greaves. Today we are inside the day room of the Ashland Police Station with Acting Chief Rich Briggs. Rich, welcome to Around the Clock.
Thank you for having me, Yolanda.
Okay, do you prefer Rich or Richard?
I prefer Rich.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or Acting Chief Briggs?
Rich is fine. Yeah, thank you.
We're here to talk to you. You're the Acting Chief with Vin stepping down back in July. Talk us through a little bit how you got here. How did you start in your police career?
Well, I started my police career as a dispatcher down in the town of Mashpee in 1993, fresh out of college. And I was a public safety dispatcher. At the time, it was pre-911, so police and fire, we dispatched. From there, I started, went to the police academy. I got hired by the Babson College Police Department as a campus police officer. Went on to the Northeastern University Police Department, and my municipal career started in the town of Dover.
Okay.
So pretty close by, but I was there for a few years before. I was living in the town of Ashland, and through the civil service, I was hired and appointed here in 2001 as a part-time police officer, and 2002 as a full-time police officer.
Dover and Ashland at the time were probably very similar communities in regards to size and issues, I would think.
Yeah, Dover, Dover was still a pretty small community at the time.
Yeah.
But in terms of crime and things like that, Ashland was a little busier community,
Okay.
and it had a lot more opportunity for advancement, which is what made my decision. So.
Okay, so you came to Ashland 2001, 2002.
Mm-hmm.
We're now about 20 years later. What has that been like, that change from then to now?
Well, I never anticipated myself being where I am today, quite
Okay.
honestly. I never really, when you're 23, 24 years old, you don't foresee yourself, 20 years out. But as I progressed through the ranks, I never really saw myself going beyond the rank of sergeant. I love the position of sergeant. I like working the street. I like working with the officers. But as time goes on, you're always looking for a challenge. You're looking for changes. So I just kept taking the exams and promoting up. So, it's hard to believe that, here we are almost 21 years later, and I'm the acting chief. So,
what was that like when you heard that Vin was leaving, Vin Alfano, our past chief? Did you put yourself out there for acting chief, or what were you thinking to make you take this step?
I think like everybody else, I was sad to see him leave.
Yep.
Because I've said it before. He wasn't only my boss, but he was a friend, and I'm still in touch with him almost every day today. And he truly is a friend. He truly loved this town, the community, the department. And, Vin was a mentor to me. But my job at the time was more operational, whereas now it's more getting out in the public. It's hearing the community's needs, whereas Vin was handling all that before. So it was a change, absolutely, and but a good one. So
what has been the biggest challenge for you going from that operational that you were doing to now being out in the public more?
Time management. Definitely time management. I don't know how Vin did it all, to be honest with you, how he fit it in. The days just fly by. There's not enough time in the day. Obviously, especially now, we have a lot of construction projects going on, the new public safety building online, or at least being constructed, and the Boston Marathon coming up in another month. It's been extremely busy. So I would say time management's been my biggest challenge right now.
And how are you working to manage and support all the construction that's going on? Let's start with that.
So obviously, we have construction meetings almost every day for one of the projects. It's really getting detail officers out there, because that's what a lot of the projects are looking for. They're looking for traffic management, detail officers, and every community around us is in the same boat with projects going on. And obviously, we have some vacancies within the police department too, which is a challenge. And so our priority is filling those patrol shifts and still trying to fulfill the obligations of the construction project. So
you mentioned Boston Marathon coming up in just under a month. What does that mean, or what is the work entailed for that for Ashland Police Department and all of our first responders when the marathon day happens?
Sure. So I think the planning for the marathon It involves the police, our police department, fire, and DPW, as well as our board of health. The planning starts about 6 months out.
Okay.
So we've been in the works already, but as we get closer to that date, the meetings become more intense. A lot more information being delivered. We have to get our operational plans finalized. We have to start working with our federal partners, our local partners. Just this morning, I had a meeting with the National Guard because we use National Guard personnel for a lot of our posts, and they're on hand. But it's working with the state police. It's working with to make sure we have the bomb squad on hand. For instance, we post 2013. We have to worry about having tactical units available to us and that kind of thing. So there's a lot of moving parts. This is my third or fourth year planning the marathon, so we pretty well have it down pat. But now I'm passing that on to other officers.
Right. So. What is your favorite thing as acting chief? What are you enjoying about this new role that you're in? And what are you enjoying the most about this new role and this new position that you're in?
I think what I'm enjoying most is meeting new people, seeing old friends, obviously, meeting new people. Saturday at the farmers market, different events we have in town, the Dragonfly Festival coming up, just getting out there and meeting people. And sometimes that's a challenge because I'm still handling a lot of operational roles, but I find that to be the thing I like the most. But not only meeting them, but hearing what their concerns are in the community. Because sometimes, if you're in an office all day, you're not hearing those concerns. You're not getting to, the quality of life issues. And you do want to hear about those because that's what people expect from us.
And what are you hearing the most as you're talking to residents about what are their concerns right now for Ashland?
Traffic is first and foremost. It's everything from speeding to traffic enforcement. Yep. But also right now with all the construction projects going on, a lot of it's the detours and stuff like that. But I think a lot of the residents have been pretty understanding that this is all going to be worth it in the end once the construction is complete. So there
have been some things that we're hearing, cars being broken into, some homes being broken into. Is that new? Is that an uprise?
No, it's not new. It's not an uprise. We run it. We're no different than any other community where at some point we end up having a car broken into. We end up having a house broken into. It's not it's not comforting by any means for people to realize that. But that's why we encourage people to make sure their doors are locked, make sure their cars are locked. It's a safe community, very safe community, but we're no different than any other community. So
if someone does have a concern and they don't get to see you at the farmers market or an event, what's the best way for the community to reach out either to you or just to the police department in general to share their concerns? So
the best way to get a hold of me would probably be to email me. And if they have a concern, I see stuff posted on Facebook a lot, but it's after the fact. So if they do have a concern, immediate concern, please call the police department and let us address it.
You came here in 2002, 2003. It's now 2021. What is the biggest change that you've seen from a policing perspective within Ashland?
The quality of police officers, the quality of training. Obviously, we're in an age of there's been a lot of things that have happened since say 2013. We're in a police reform era, and there's a lot of changes coming down the pike for us, and they're good changes, they're positive changes, but it's managing all those things. The training's changed significantly. We used to be when I went to police academy, it was very paramilitary training. It's not so much like that anymore. It's more community oriented. It's more de-escalation and mental health, and because those are the issues we're seeing in our communities. Okay.
Well, Rich, thank you so much for talking to us, and good luck as you continue to be our acting chief. I feel our community's in good hands, so thank you.
Thank you, Yolanda.
Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
That's wrapping up this segment of Around the Clock. Stay with us. We'll be back with more.